you think all those people running in Ayala on Sundays, in UP on weekdays, are preparing for High Rocks?
Year 1 coach. Year 20 coach.
Everyone knows I hate running. Hindi mo ako mapapatakbo.
And then he was like, oo naman, makakapag-workout ka pa. Oh, pero light na lang. Sabi ko, mga gaano po ka light, Doc? Sabi niya, mga 5 pounds. My finger, one pinky finger can lift a 5-pound dumbbell.
This man's been in the industry for so long. 4 months pa lang ako. Paano kayo tatagal ng ganun katagal, di ba?
The older you get, the more you realize you don't know everything.
I can talk all I want. If I don't work out, if I don't eat properly, it's gonna show.
If he starts telling you his personal problems, run. You own a gym. It's your business. And you're the most unfit person ever.
Say it back.
Yeah.
Kidding.
Of course.
You guys need to earn your stripes.
So before we started rolling, I asked Zaki, how long have you been coaching? I'm surprised to know na 4 months pa lang pala. And that got me really interested kasi medyo wild yung contrast ngayon eh, no? So, Zaki, less than 1 year coaching, literally a rookie, quote-unquote, no? In the coaching space. Meanwhile, tong katabi natin, medyo, touching LeBron status na siya. Ilang years na?
20 this year. 20 years.
So, literally, I don't know. Hindi ko na nga maalala ang ginagawa ko 20 years ago. So, it'd be nice to know. I'm always curious, and I've heard different versions of Jared's story through the years, no? Like, back then, ganito, fitness, ganito, ganyan. But I really want to know, like, ikaw, like, do you still remember that moment na I wanted to be a coach? What made you want to be a coach in the first place? Ganun.
You know, this is interesting kasi I've found out that as the years go by, to a certain degree, as you evolve, the answer to that also evolves.
Okay.
So, there were elements of that I couldn't really answer or give a full picture of in the past.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like now, as you become more, as you learn more things, as you become more self-aware, na certain things are revealed as well to you, to yourself as you learn. I can't say I wanted to be a coach ever.
Okay.
I really can't say that. It's more like it happened. It just happened. And I know that my story isn't unique in any way. I know a lot of people who happened upon this profession. I feel like Zaki's similar, knowing Zaki. It's fairly similar. Pero yung sa akin kasi, we had starting from the time I started working out when I was 16, I feel like I really changed as a person. And, when you're 16 years old, there's a lot of things that are going on. Your hormones are probably going crazy. You're probably, this is the point where, as a parent now, and, I'm trying to learn some stuff as well so that when my kid gets old, parang, these are worrisome years for young men.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're make or break. Parang, once a boy hits the age of 16, parang his hobbies or where he dedicates his energies are going to be very telling of what the next 20 years is gonna look like of his future. So back then, of course, we were young. Most of my friends were playing Counter-Strike. Most of my friends were getting high.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing crazy. Just recreational.
What boys do, basically.
Yeah, recreational stuff. A lot of weed. Some of them are still lighting up to this very day. Some have outgrown it, but I feel like I was playing a lot of basketball. That's for sure. I was spending way too much time playing basketball. Like, looking back, I shouldn't have spent half that time playing basketball.
Okay.
It's one of those things na parang look back now and like, damn, that was a freaking waste of time, you know.
Talaga?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, basketball, unless you make it pro, what's the point? If you spend that much time. And I feel like I think I was playing like average of maybe 3 to 5
Wow.
times a week.
Wow.
Maybe 2 to 3 hours per day. And then add to that the time you spend like traveling to and from the court. Even after practice or after a game, you hang out with your friends pa. You end up wasting six freaking hours of the day. It's just a gigantic waste of time, if you ask me.
Maybe just to pinpoint it, no? Like, when was the first time you said to yourself, okay, I'm a fitness coach. I'm a fitness coach now.
I broke my arm playing basketball.
Wait.
I have the scar to prove it. Look at that. I have
Ayan.
two long
Ayan.
scars to prove
Pasok
it.
mo nga, pasok mo nga. Okay.
Here's the front and there's the back. So
We call it Jeridan's ano.
I broke both bones in my forearm.
Okay, so how did that?
I was in college. I was
Okay.
playing in college, and maybe it's just like fate or destiny's way of like giving you a little tap and like, hey, enough with that stupidity or whatnot. And time to prioritize. So I remember I was in the hospital. This is
Okay.
my first time being confined ever. First time being confined at the hospital. I freaking hated it. I was like, I hate this. This is like the worst thing ever. At that point, I was 20 years old. I was 20 years old. I was like, this is the worst thing to ever happen to me. You know what I asked the doctor? I asked the doctor, Doc,
Kilala ko ba?
makakapag-workout pa ba ako after nito? Kasi bali eh. Bali talaga both, di ba? Compound fracture. And then, he was like, oo naman, makakapag-workout ka pa. I was like, talaga? Oh, pero light na lang. Gaano ka light?
Oh, no.
Sabi ko, mga gaano po ka light, Doc? Sabi niya, mga 5 pounds.
No way.
Worst news.
This was a diplomate of the Philippine Orthopedic Surgeon Society, whatever. Basta diplomate. As far as I understand, you're a doctor's son. Pag diplomate ka, medyo you're
Very
respected.
sought after.
Respected and sought
Nice.
after.
So what he would say is parang, man,
Yeah, but also, I'm not kidding. That was the first time I believe I cried.
oh my God.
I think I cried. I was like, ah. And then I was like, I'm not gonna play basketball ever again. and it wasn't even about being a coach, but I realized kasi from the age of 16 to that point, 20,
Yeah.
I had also put a lot of time into working out. And working out gave me way more than basketball ever did.
That's true.
Like, honestly, like, I've said it in the previous episode. I was a skinny, lanky kid. So working out put meat on that frame, gave me confidence, made me look better wearing clothes, and I was like, just like, okay, because I'm not short. So with my height, I would say na parang, I think I came across this like chart before. This was back then, early 2000s, that said like, what is the perfect proportion for a man? I was like, I'm freaking close. I was like, because it was, if I'm not mistaken, it was a range of height. This is for clothes. This is for clothes.
Okay.
It was a range of height between 5'10" to 6 feet tall. Any shorter or taller than that, you'd have a harder time fitting into normal clothes. So I was like, oh, I'm smack in the middle. And then a range of weight. So I was like, literally in the middle. I was like, okay, I'll keep
at it.
Keep at it. So, ayun. And then, true enough, I didn't listen to that doctor. So obviously, 5 pounds, diba? It's like dumbest thing I've ever heard from a doctor. So there's your proof that there are times when doctors have no idea what they're talking about, right? So I don't care if you're like Philippine Society of Orthopedic Diplomate, whatever. You have no idea what you're talking about. 5 pounds? Are you kidding me? My finger, one pinky finger can lift a 5-pound dumbbell now on the injured arm, right?
I get okay, so let's look at the other side of the coin naman with Zaki. So obviously you just started coaching, no?
Yeah.
And I mean, if I were to ask you, you'd probably say the same thing on how you started. Kasi nga we were working out at Metcon, so one thing to another, you're a coach now.
No, he was working there. He wasn't
Oh,
working
right,
out
right.
there.
Marketing pala. Or
Yeah, I
was-
started
yeah.
Marketing
content.
na- Yeah, but I guess my question for you is, when did you first start diving in? We know your brother, of course, but when did you first take fitness more seriously and eventually parang I can make a living out of this, ganito ganyan.
Sige. Growing up kasi fitness or exercise in general was not foreign to me at all.
Yeah.
Because, well, my parents being Tito Jerdy's clients, then even my brother at the very start. So, I was already, I'm very grateful that I was exposed to that kind of environment. So, growing up, I led a very active lifestyle. At 8 years old, enrolled in a Chinese martial arts school.
Yeah, I remember.
Back in grade school, I was very competitive in table tennis. Also played in some inter-school matches sa basketball back in grade school. So, parang it became very normal to me to stay active. But I never... The only time I saw myself pursuing coaching as a career was when I saw it in my brother.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow. Very, siguro, growing
Idol.
up, si Idol. Growing up, dalawa lang kami. We're just, 2 siblings.
Boys pa.
So, very, growing up, kaming dalawa, I usually just follow what he does. Tama man o mali, I didn't... Wala akong moral compass nun.
Ano yung mali?
Wala akong moral compass nun. For example, tatakas kami ng bahay para maglaro ng basketball. He was like 12, I was like 7, mga ganun. So, syempre, pag uwi ng mga parents namin, hanapin kami. Yung pala, nasa court lang po yung naglalaro. Yung mga ganun. Parang, whatever it was, if I saw my brother do it, it's right. I do it also. Parang ganun. So when I saw him coaching, when I saw him working out sa CrossFit at 14, I think. Sabi ko, wow, he's pretty good at that. Then he started coaching at like what, 15, 16?
I think we're 17 naman.
17
College
years old.
yata.
He started coaching at that age.
First year college.
And during that time, it was very... You don't see that often.
Walang ganun.
Like
Siya lang.
you could also make the argument that he was probably the youngest coach.
I think so. I think so. I could be wrong, but most definitely sa Pilipinas. In CrossFit, locally,
Yeah. So you could.
What was that? Like, okay, so obviously you saw your older brother. And was that one thing yung pumitik sa'yo? It's like, okay, coaching's pretty cool. I want to do that. Is it the... What was it that you think you would gain from it?
I think it was it was probably the element of being able. Iba kasi yung, let's say, if it's just you working out, that's one thing. It's another thing when you're able to extend that that passion, I guess. That passion to other people. You get to extend that. Siguro that our love for fitness, I guess. Not only in the competitive space, but in general too.
Yeah. So I think it's like with anyone, right? Like I found something really cool. I feel like I should. I mean, the good things it does for me maybe should be shared to other people. And with that said, right, I think brings me to my next question is like year 1 coach, year 20 coach. I can't stress that enough. So through the years, right? You said kanina, the reason is always evolving. I would say even the coaching style changes also through the
Yeah,
years.
definitely.
So, ikaw, let's start with Zaki first. Since, 4 months. But I believe like you've had a really fruitful 4 months. Can we say the type of clients he usually works with?
If he can elaborate.
Ikaw, like, how has this first 4 months has been for you? What have you learned as a coach that I mean, it's fresh from memory. What did you improve from month 1 to month 4? Mga things you've learned along the way.
I did not expect this at all. Kasi, I don't know. Parang I was expecting, again, very grateful for the opportunity to have been coaching for as little as I have been. Pero, one thing I learned siguro so far in the 4 months that I've been doing this is, sa totoo lang, it's really a lot of patience. Parang, no joke, when I coach, a lot of times, Tito Jerdy, naalala ko si Tito Jerdy. So, grabe, this man's been in the industry for so long. 4 months pa lang ako. So, paano kayo tatagal ng ganun katagal, di ba? Pero
Well, Zaki, hindi confused yung role ko nun. Nagko-coach lang talaga ako.
Oh, okay.
Multi-hatting ba si Zaki ngayon?
Pagtapos ko mag-coach, alam mo yun, I get to see my friends, I get whatever.
Yeah, pero ayun, right now I enjoy coaching and
Do you enjoy it more than your other roles?
yes.
Okay.
Right now, yes, because I get to meet different kinds of people from different walks of life, I guess. Parang I realize na the world is small. For example, I coach a client that knows my dad pala from the medical field and yung mga ganun, parang
Nice.
very very parang everyone is connected somehow.
A lot of serendipitous connections.
Yeah, oo.
True, I have to attest to that.
And everyone knows naman I'm the youngest there.
Okay.
So I just try to be a sponge to everyone. Na when the opportunity presents itself, I just do my best to ask as much questions as I can, as they allow me to ask. Kasi especially na all of them are like way ahead in terms of life experience, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So I always want to learn from them, not only in terms of coaching but in terms of also career and life in general. I'm all right now. I think I'm in a stage where I'm still actually discovering different paths, and it just so happened na coaching and media are the avenues that I have right now. Who knows, it might change in a few years, few months, di ko alam. Pero ngayon, very, 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 very grateful.
4 months pa lang.
Hindi naman. Pero yun nga, very, very grateful. I try to learn from everyone as much as I can. Yeah.
That's great. That's great to hear. I mean, and then segueing, is it okay if I ask you a favor? I mean, it's a lot to remember, no? Like all the years, but as comfortably as you can, because I really want to know the nuances that you went through, the different styles you tried along the way, what brought upon it, things like that.
I didn't really I want to say I didn't really try like a certain style or anything. It's more like the coaching role. I feel like it evolved with me evolving as a person. More like that. So a funny thing, Zaki starting coaching now is the same exact age I was when I started.
Wow.
Exactly the same. So you're 23, you turned 23, right? So I started when I was 22, turning 23.
Wow.
Also, exactly the same age. My temperament has changed throughout the years.
Can
My
attest.
yeah, and no, and even
Yeah.
it's not linear. It's not linear na you'd think that I was a little bit more what's the word, authoritative in my coaching style. It's not linear. So there were times when I was very chill, and then I became more authoritative, and chill again. So it changes. So it also changes with my clientele.
Yeah.
So I have to say, when I started out, 2005, the younger you are, here's the thing, the more sure you are of things. The younger you are, the more sure you are of things. The older you get, the more unsure you become. The
That's
more you
true.
realize na you don't know everything.
That's true.
Right?
Medyo matakot ka na pag alam ng lahat.
The older you get, the more you realize you don't know everything. And then also, as with what Zaki said, you meet a lot of people. You also learn from them. So I want to say I also learn from my clients as much as I hope that I am able to impart to them. I also learn from them. So, you get to deal, I think, with what you were alluding to with Zaki earlier. You get to deal with different types of people at different life stages,
Yeah.
at different demographics, different economic situations. And you get to connect some dots. So things like that. And I want to say, I mean, temperament really changed when started coaching group classes, because you have to manage a group. You have to manage a group. You can't be very I think kids today call it demure, right? You can't be
Yeah.
demure when you're handling a big class of 15 CrossFit people, different skill levels. You can't be demure. You have to,
Out there.
you have to, your authority has to be there. Like if people have read the 21 irrefutable laws of leadership, there's the law of E.F. Hutton. When E.F. Hutton speaks, people listen. So you have to be like that. Now, when you're doing personal coaching, small group, one-on-one, two-on-two, you have to be very gracious, right? It's different. All right. So I think, yeah, it evolved as time has gone. And I also kind of mirror my client. So if I have a client who's being difficult to teach, I try to understand, maybe they're going through a bad day, maybe it's not a good time in their life. You try to be more empathetic towards things like that as you get older. But if they're having like 10 freaking bad days in a row, right? And ten sessions from now, still don't know how to do a freaking
Double under.
no, not that's a high skill movement.
Okay.
But like I'd say something like, if I ask you to do a bench press and they say, Coach, ano nga ulit
Oh
yun?
my goodness.
I draw the line there. And suddenly, the attack dog comes out. Because I have to talk to them. Look, I'm putting a lot into this.
Yeah.
I'm
of
putting a
course.
lot of time into this.
Yeah.
You have to also
a contract, right? It's a
you have to
contract.
also give something. I can't teach you something for 10 times and you still can't understand the basics of it. I mean, I understand there will be nuances in the technique or maybe that we can refine, but you don't even know how to do the name. Are you
Yeah.
serious? Do 5 burpees. Ano nga ulit yung burpee? I mean, in CrossFit, that's basic, right?
That's the thing, right? Yung one thing I think most clients don't realize is you have to meet your coach halfway.
You both have to meet each other halfway.
And of course, I mean, he reaches out, you have to reach back. You can't. Most clients think na kailangan kong pumayat kasi kailangan ko ng coach para pumayat ako. But your coach is not the one eating for you. Your coach is not the one lifting the weights for you. Diba? He's just there to make sure that you do the work, get to your goals. Very interesting that you showed the approaches you have. Of course, it changes with the type of client or the type of goal that they have. I'm just really curious, what's that one thing you like? May it be in a class setting, may it be in a one-on-one or specific client, what's that one thing you always hold on to in order to help, may it be a class, may it be a individual client?
As much as possible, I try to make the time that they spend with me, hopefully, one of the best parts of their day. Hopefully, I mean, that's all we can hope for. Hopefully, they make it one of the best part. Hopefully, it's one of the best parts of their day. You might as well, right? You're gonna see each other for a long time, a lot of times. I mean, ideally.
Yeah.
So you might as well make it pleasant for both of you, right?
Yeah, no follow-up question. I think the simpler it is, the better, right? Ikaw, Zach.
Yeah, I'd like to piggyback on what you said then.
Yeah.
I guess the clients that we work with, they spend what 1 hour, 15 minutes with us to most of the time distress. So as a coach, you don't want to be another source of stress to them, di ba?
Okay.
Parang that's also what you're saying na both of us meet the client and ourselves meet each other halfway. Na parang both make effort into making each other's parang worth our while. And the same thing with them naman. Parang I like what Tito Jerdy said na to make it pleasant for the both of you. Pero I guess there are also one of the challenges siguro that I face ngayon is if the coach is having a bad day, you can't show that sa client. You can't express it eh. Kasi again, you don't want to be
Toxic nun, bro.
another source. You don't
toxic
want to be
nun.
another source of stress.
I think with anything naman.
No,
It's
pero I think it's a problem.
for coaches here?
Yeah, I think it is. Because I've heard and I've seen a lot of horror
Yeah,
stories.
because parang for me it defeats the purpose.
Yeah.
I guess. Like working out is not only a physical activity. It also most of the time with the clients that we work with, it helps mental health as well.
Of course.
Just to let me with what Zaki was saying. Sa akin it's the opposite. I can be having like a shitty day, honestly. But then if this client shows up and I know we have a good rapport, it actually makes my day better. Baliktad siya sa akin. So I don't feel the need to like take whatever stress from outside. I think that's a skill I have developed over the years. Na I don't bring any of my problems to the clients or none of that at all. So kasi sobrang daming red flags ng a lot of coaches I've seen over the years. They're gonna tell their client their personal problems. Some of them, they know, like say, si client, medyo mayaman, may pera.
Okay.
And then, sunod yan, inuutangan na.
Oh no.
Yeah, I've seen that happen a lot. Like, even like some people, co-workers. And it's really, it reflects poorly on the profession as a whole. That's why I think, to be fair, initially, I think that affected my demeanor kasi before, unlike with Zaki now at his gym, at my gym before, it was a commercial gym. So, all walks talaga. You get a lot of people, all walks. I had the reputation of being very suplado. Suplado talaga as a coach initially, early in my career. But I think looking back on it now, that was the reason why. I did not want to be lumped in with the other coaches na yung ganon, yung parang sa akin, it was more like, look, you can afford me, and if you want to be trained by me, if you want back then I want to say as a little bit more like harsh, tougher pill to swallow back then. Then you can hire me. If you don't, if you want someone to get some other trainer. Yeah.
Okay.
I was kind of like that early in my career. Actually, I think throughout my tenure at the commercial gym, I was like that. Yeah, because it separated me from everyone else.
What was everyone else back then?
Other coaches?
The
The other
sentence,
coaches?
In a couple sentence.
baka mabash tayo pero nangangailangan. Alam mo yun, nangangailangan eh. Like, I mean, I don't blame them for that, but kasi some of these people had families. So, I was single. I came from a fairly privileged background. That might be playing it down a bit. But my not all my peers were like that. Some of my peers that was really their bread and butter. Iba dun breadwinner pa. Like, syempre, I understand that they can't act the same way I did. I was the guy who was like, this person wanted me as a coach, and then they wanted me at this time. Nah, I can't train you at that time. Get someone else. Because no, ito yung kwento nun. I remember, like, let's say my shift ends at 5. He wanted to come at 4:30.
Oh,
so I could train him from 4:30 to 5:30. Now, not for anything, okay lang yun. Like, now, for example, let's say I go back then, much more mature, I'd take him as a client, definitely. But back then, that's interfering with my workout time, or maybe even my nap time after work. Because I usually nap before training early. So I was like, nah, get someone else. So, ganon. I almost didn't accept his brother to train. That's a funny story. Kasi back then, when his dad talked to me, when Daki's dad talked to me if I could train Pamangkin Daniel, I was like, 13. He's 13. Like, what the hell? Like, why does he have someone else train him? Like, not me. But looking back now, that stretched me. Because I had to learn how to deal with a young boy. Back then, 13 years old. He was homeschooled. I had to stretch myself. Like, there was a time, like, I remember, like, parang, sorry Daniel, pero, ano lang. Like, some of my colleagues asked me, nagsasalita ba yung client mo? I was like, naman, nagsasalita naman siya. Actually, pag nag-joke kayo ng bastos, natatawa siya eh. So, natatawa siya, narinig ko niya kayo doon.
Alam niya.
So I was like, okay, Daniel's cool. He's normal as can be. At 13 years old, going through peak puberty.
Right. I gotta tell you, we've been doing this Tito Fit and now podcast for 5 years. This is the longest I've spoken. So medyo...
hindi I think your Carry Sports review. So we're here, second episode, and we're at Navita's house right now.
Yeah.
And this is a space founded by a former educator. Well, she's still an educator up to this very day. And it's an old house here in Poblacion. It was very, very tastefully rebuilt.
Very nice.
Tastefully rebuilt, and you can it's a space for learning, for art, for talks. You can actually rent this place if you want to. Wow. I've seen it rented for like product launches and such. Like, they have a fully functioning kitchen there, and the best part for me, they have an amazing coffee shop right in front. Jiro Coffee Studio. So shout out to Jiro Coffee Studio. So thank you to Navita's house, and hopefully, if you listen to this podcast, hopefully you can drop by one day, check it out.
All right. Juicy questions. Parang di pa juicy yung kanina no? I think right now...
Second segment na tayo?
Second segment.
Okay, good.
I think
we're on pace. I think...
You guys actually answered most of the truths and myths part so I'm gonna jump to medyo third part na.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're at an age now where I think... correct me if I'm wrong. No, like, the typical client isn't just about... there's still a lot of those who want to lose weight, maybe tone up a bit, gain muscle, but there's a lot of competitions around now. It's very uncommon. It's not rare where people would go to you, Coach, gusto kong mag-high rocks. Coach, may CrossFit competition sa amin, or even powerlifting, marathon, things like that. How do you approach these people now as a coach? Different needs na parang, do I have to be specialized in this type of training? Ganito, ganyan. So my question is, how, if someone was to come up to you and you feel like, with the client base here in the Philippines, how do you tailor your own coaching style to hopefully serve an audience that's much more competitive, wants to compete, or has those metrics now in place?
I don't know. I feel like I my client base isn't as competitive. My client base,
Same.
they're mostly in the season of their life where they're much older, much
Okay.
wealthier, and more relaxed. The things they want are not like things to do, like not to participate in the next functional fitness throwdown in Phil Investent. Their goals are more like the goals are closer to, I wanna be able to, we're gonna go to Japan. Here it's like 20,000 steps a day. you know I want to be able to carry stuff and not be fatigued, not be tired, or maybe we're gonna do a hike in Iceland or whatever, or travel more. And most of these people that I deal with are ranges, but some of them are uh, on the younger end for me. For me, they're in their 30s. And then some are as old as 60s. So it's a very different demographic for me as compared to the people you're mentioning. I think those people are the types who'd walk into like either a CrossFit affiliate or some place like Local Active, where they're known to really be focused on a lot of high rocks, a lot of people participating in high rocks from that gym in particular. I think maybe they may have the most.
Yeah.
Yeah, shout out to Local,
I
to
think
Louie and Mark. Good job for getting people into high rocks.
Yeah, same. Kasi, like what Tito Jordy said, the clients that I work with also are people...
Similar.
Yeah, very, very similar. They want to look good in the beach, ganyan. Like, it's for example, been a really big issue for them na di ako nakakatanggal ng t-shirt sa beach, ganyan. This time, I want to make
Yeah,
that happen.
yeah.
Yung things like that. Or something as simple as my kid's running a 10K
Yeah.
in 3 months. Gusto ko siya masabayan at least. So,
These are the people who can afford to pay. The people who join functional fitness competitions, I'm not saying they can't afford to pay, but they won't. You know what I mean? They'll join a CrossFit affiliate if that's what they want. And then they'll hone their skills with the community that's competing, that by and large is still, most of them are in the part of the corporate grind, or even like business owners as well, small business owners,
Yeah.
but usually in younger stages of their lives. Usually, I want to say, like, there is a percentage of them who are they can all afford, like, because CrossFit is, to begin with, is already quite expensive. But I feel like I don't know too many competitors in the CrossFit space who
Are
pay for
they-
personal coaching. I don't know too many.
are these competitive clients out there just chasing a high, you think?
No naman. I mean, it's the world we live in. Nothing could be more fun than being part of a community that likes to do hard things, and you can all validate each other on social media for it. Right? I mean, let's not kid each other, right? Validate each other for social. No, and this is not like a jab at anyone, but like, there's nothing better than you, like, say for example, because the functional fitness community here in the Philippines, especially those who do CrossFit, who join these competitions, you're generally one out of your whole family. Right?
Yeah.
Generally. That's the way it is. Because CrossFit is very prohibitive. It's very hard. Before you become good at CrossFit, how many years does it take? We've talked about this before. It's very prohibitive. Before you can get like 5 to 10 unbroken ring muscle ups. Before you unlock your pistols and your handstand walks. Before you can clean and jerk 250. Takes a while. Now, if you're that person in your family, you have extended family, that's pretty cool, right? Your nephews, nieces, your kids are all gonna look at you and say, my mom or my uncle, my tito is so cool. He can do this. My tita, she's so cool. She can do that. She joins high rocks. It's amazing. And I think that's a good thing. That's a very, very good thing. Kasi it gets people an avenue before, you wouldn't find out. Like, honestly, like 40 years ago, you'll hear about this, alam mo, yung tito mo, pag reunion, lakas yan, ganun lang. Ngayon, makikita mo na sa Instagram, galing ni tito.
Oo nga, malakas
diba?
nga.
Malakas si
Yeah.
tito. Andun yung pruweba. So, it's the world we live in. And I don't think they're chasing a high of some sort. I think it's people today, we pay for experiences, for I saw this article recently, Gen Z and millennials. Gen Z and millennials are the highest spending what do you call them?
Highest power?
No, what do you call them?
Generation.
Generation or whatever. The highest spending on fitness and self-care ever
Wow.
in history. And the fitness industry has ballooned to, I think the amount last year was somewhere like, I could be wrong, but somewhere like I think $200 billion
Wow.
worldwide. It's insane. It wasn't like that before. So you have millennials and Gen Z, they're spending so much on this. So it's only gonna get better.
Yeah, so before we move forward, I also want to add, I think it's also very community driven. Imagine if it was just you competing, joining a CrossFit competition without
Yeah.
anyone else. I doubt that you'd actually be consistent in joining competitions over a long time. Siguro, I feel like people join again and again is because they have other people that very much relate to them in terms of the experience. Again, what he said, they pay very much for experience, and I think here in the Philippines, given that, let's say, a sport like CrossFit is very small here in the Philippines, so I feel like kaya you
Is that what
mentioned-
sets us apart? Because in terms of, you mentioned the CrossFit Open, globally, right? The numbers of participants year per year is kind of going down.
Yeah.
And here,
Trending down.
for the first time in the highest for the past 5 years, right?
I think the number like doubled from last year. I something like that.
What's your take? What's your take on, like, why are we like an outlier with that trend in terms of the CrossFit Open?
I'm not sure, but I think like when we opened, we had the longest lockdown. Remember, worldwide, we had the longest lockdown. The Philippines had the longest lockdown, and when we opened, competition started coming in. I think medyo like we were deprived
Okay.
of community events for three years almost. 2020 to 2023. Remember, you couldn't even go to the movies. The cinemas were closed, right? So 2023 came and these events started coming again. I think initially there may have been a lot of FOMO. So a lot of people were join. That looks cool. Oh yeah, I missed this, And then, now I think now it's just a new generation. Kasi our generation of competitors, if you go to any of these competitions, most of us are gone. We not almost none of us are joining anymore. I joined last year. This year I haven't joined any so far. But yeah, so back to that, I think but the competitions are full, and when I look at the faces of the people competing, I don't know most of them. Other than ones who've been around for at least like the last 4 or 5 years. But if I've heard of some like new people who are quite competitive, quite strong, who've been only there for 1-2 years. So I think it's a new breed. So you're getting a lot of that new breed mixed with some of the old guard that's still keeping things afloat.
Okay.
So maybe that's it.
Shucks. Kind of lost my train of thought with that one. I was gonna go into like the Iron Man and stuff, but that's
The High Rocks and stuff, Iron Man.
So, I mean, you mentioned moving on now. I'm sure there were trends or hot new thing during your time back then. Like, what was before CrossFit? I even forget what was before CrossFit.
Nothing.
Nothing.
I
So
mean-
CrossFit really like opened the floodgates.
Yeah, kasi like before, well, you had bodybuilders in the gym. That's a very niche sport. Like, yeah, a lot of people go to the gym, but how many people become professional bodybuilders, right? How many people want to look like that? How many people have the discipline to stick with to look that shredded? That's not a joke. How disciplined those people are. Not to mention to take certain enhancements to look like that. Not everyone will want to look like that and be willing to make those sacrifices. And powerlifting, it was such a niche sport before. Like back then, it's not like now where you'd see like competition plates in gyms. Before, like that was alien. No competition plates in gyms. And then you had the people who used to join like fun runs. Yeah, so you had, and then you on the more serious spectrum of that, people who did marathons and joined like multi-sport like triathlons, like you mentioned Ironman. They're very they're not that easy to get into, except for the fun run part. That the fun run, I'd say, was the most the easiest. I think, honestly, I think it started with like a few of those early obstacle course races, like
Okay.
maybe
Spartan?
no, before that it was like maybe the men's health urbanathlon.
Urbanathlon.
Yeah,
Oh my goodness.
those were fun. Those were fun in the late 2000s.
I have no idea what that is.
Yeah,
I have
those
no
were fun.
idea what that
If
is.
you know what an urbanathlon is,
Yeah. My age is showing.
Your back may be
I was
hurting
running
now.
I was running in UP. I was running in UP, and then I saw a guy wearing a men's health
Health
urbanathlon
Urbanathlon.
shirt. And then the year was written, because I was like, I don't have that shirt. 2010. It's like, oh, it's the year I didn't join.
So, Men's Health, thank you for inventing High Rocks.
High Rocks before High Rocks, Spartan before Spartan.
Oh
that's,
my God.
That's basically what it was. Zaki, it was like a fun run. And then like randomly there would be like obstacles, like a ramp, like a wall you'd have to get over. But then you had like marshals helping everyone to get up. So or like you race as a team, you can even help the ladies come up. It was good fun, but I think CrossFit took that to another level. The community event.
I wanna hear something from Zaki now that we're at a time now. You just said CrossFit took it to a whole different level, and I think that was before you even thought of fitness as a career, right? With the landscape now, where do you feel like you can place yourself in fitness, the way it's going?
I don't see myself as an athlete, at least right now. I don't know if it's because I don't know, parang at this point maybe priorities change, and I am way less fitter. I'm way less fit now compared to, let's say, my condition back last year September. That was probably
I'm sorry.
so. Yeah,
Bakit?
Wala, I hindi ako get over na sa kanya matagal na yung last year September. Na sa akin yung parang I'm comparing condition to 2018, 2017. I was like,
Grabe yung spikes niya, no?
akala ko,
Metric mo every 3 months eh.
yung sa kanya, wala man lang isang taon eh.
Nag-i-embody ka every month na.
Last year! That's perspective for you.
Yeah. Hindi kasi I was talking about this with a person in our gym yesterday ata or a while ago. Parang I'd look at photos and videos of me competing last year. Nakita ko, grabe, I can handle this much load, ganyan. Parang ngayon, like, if makakomplete ako ng workout, it's like a big win na. But again, yun nga. But at this point, athlete is more of a blur. Coaching is much more clearer to me now, I guess. I'm very eager. I'm very open to exploring that space more. Even not even in the competitive side of things. I'd like to explore different disciplines also, especially running now that so if you watch the first
Trending eh.
if you watch the first episode, everyone knows I hate running. Di mo ako mapapatakbo. Pero now, I don't know. There's something about running compared to lifting.
Sama ko siya kanina 6
I get-
a.m. Tumatakbo.
Wow.
Diba?
6 a.m. Jared and
So,
Conde in
pili
the
na lang
wild
kayo
at 6 a.m.
sa kayo mas surprised that I'm running now or Tito Jerdy agreed to a run at 6
Or
a.m.
Tito Jerdy is awake at 6
What are you
a.m.
talking about? Every Sunday, I
Oh,
run
diba?
at like
Oh,
that
oh.
time. Every Sunday. Every Sunday.
Changed, man.
It's just that it's a weekday.
Grabe explosion ng
you know.
running ngayon.
Oh,
no?
yeah, that's
You think it's because of High Rocks? Or
No,
Not
it's
even.
not, right?
No,
It's-
not even.
no.
Not even. Kasi,
High Rocks is still too new to make that big of a dent. Especially here in the Philippines. I bet you, like, maybe some people have heard of High Rocks. Maybe a few people who are serious about fitness maybe saw reels about it. But you think all those people running in Ayala on Sundays, in UP on weekdays, are preparing for High Rocks? I don't think so. They just want to lose weight.
Yeah, I
they want to
agree.
feel better. Uso running.
Kaya again, it's the thing now eh.
buying
Running
new
tayo.
shoes.
Diba? Mga
Oh
nakaabang
my
sa
gosh.
sa FB page ng Pitik sa Ayala.
Isa pa yun. Diba? I mean, yeah, ano lang
Yeah,
yun eh. I think it's, ano lang. Like you said, it's the trend. It's the trend.
So it ebbs and flows. A lot of things change along the way. Ikaw, 4 months, learned a lot already. Obviously, you, lots of years, learned a lot of things already. I want to know, like, what's an underrated habit that keeps you consistent as a coach? And of course, as a coach, you have to look fit. Or, evidently, you don't have to be the strongest guy. But what's that underrated habit for you that makes you effective as a coach?
For me, I guess, actions are caught, not taught. So, in the gym, I'd say, since I'm pretty new, not pretty, I'm very new to the industry in terms, as far as coaching is concerned. My coaching style is very, not at all authoritative, very still, very demure pa. Because again, I'm still, so to speak, earning my stripes. as
But
I go along.
also I wanna think it's also the context of how you're coaching. It's because you're coaching more or less individuals,
Yes.
small group,
Yes.
like maybe twos, maybe three. But like you're not coaching. You don't have to be authoritative in most ways. I think
Yeah,
that's you're afforded that privilege. Not coaching like a CrossFit class, for example. CrossFit class, you have 3 people from class pass drop in. Dadaldalan, late pa. Oh, diba? What are you gonna do? "Eh, excuse me. You can't do that. Right? You can't.
Yeah, so going back, since I'm still very new, I haven't earned that credibility yet. So the best thing that I can do is to embody it. Parang people, like, I can talk all I want. If I don't work out, if I don't eat properly, it's gonna show. Diba? So I rather, in most cases, if I'm not coaching, I try to not well, talk about it also, but not only talk about it, but be about it as well. So especially now na yun nga, I'm still gaining experience, still very new. So right now, I notice that people reach out to me not because of something I said, but because of something I did. So I guess that's
Do you
the
agree
thing
with
I
that?
learned.
Is
Yeah,
that
definitely.
something-
100%. Yeah, that's more important that people see you doing. It's just like I think on his end, he said he's still building his credibility. On my end, I think people have seen me for the last 20 something years. And some people like I don't have to I mean, like, the community here is very small, and it's your reputation should always, like, I'd say, be reflective of what you've done more than what you say. Because I mean, let's say you own a gym, right? You own a gym. It's your business, and you're the most unfit person ever. You're overweight. You're always complaining that you're tired. You're always looking stressed. Oh wait, I think I know someone who's exactly like this and owns a gym. Very like overweight, obese. I may be related to them. Maybe, or I might have disowned. I don't know. Anyway, right? But if you ask me, I always look at the people who follow people like that. I always look at them and I always ask myself. And then I look, oh, that's right. They're not getting results either. Because as the owner of a gym, normally the owner, the head coach, usually reflects the values of that gym. We can see that. Like, let's use Metcon or the Grin method as an example. Coach Anton is very heavy on his endurance activities. He's very consistent. You always see him training, and people emulate that. You know, they see that, and they know he's a serious coach, athlete, and they will emulate that. Whereas you go to another gym, and the owner, coach is fat. Like, it's more concerned about the socials. If may lechon ba sa socials, or if may
alcohol,
if may pansit ba dyan na masarap, or I don't know, whatever it is, or like masarap yung dessert na sa potluck. Well,
and I mean, I'm sure both of you can agree, right? It makes your job easier if you practice what you preach.
Definitely.
Right?
oh yeah,
Definitely.
yeah.
So I mean, if some fat ass goes, oh no, you should
Body
keep
shamer ka. Why do you call them a fat ass?
heavier on the heavier side of the scale.
Plus size.
If you know, like, they can't even do double unders, let alone pull-ups.
I know someone like that.
And they tell you, you should keep your hip tighter. Why? Can you show that to me? It would be really hard to believe something.
I'm sorry, but I really see a lot of people who pay good money. I really feel bad for those customers. I feel like they're being ripped off. I feel like people who continually patronize that business are getting shortchanged, unfortunately for them. They should go to much better gyms with much better cultures where the owners and the head coaches are actual practitioners of fitness, not fatness.
I mean, it's not rocket science. Diba?
Yeah.
You have to practice what you preach, basically.
Yeah, the same goes for any industry naman, di ba?
Very. I mean, that's your credibility. That's how you really know what you're talking about, is if you put it into practice, tested it.
I mean, there are a lot of shady characters out there. Running is big now, and then I'm guessing there are a lot of people who are presenting themselves as running coaches, or even people who put up their own run clubs and then will charge a small fee for people to be a part of it, and they organize these group runs. You know, I'm not saying that that's wrong, that organizing run clubs like that is wrong. I have nothing against that. I'm just saying maybe should weed out the pretenders from the real ones.
How do you mix that? Of course, we all work to earn money.
Yeah.
I mean, that's no two ways about it. But the business side of coaching, like, how do you mix that properly? Like, do you draw a line? I mean, it's very mixed, right? The business is coaching, but at the same time.
Well, okay. So let's put it this way. I know for a fact that me coaching people, not gonna be able to coach everyone. Not gonna be able to coach like the vast majority of people. That's what the YouTube channel is for. We hope to a certain degree, you know, to inform people about better concepts about fitness, how to help them with their own fitness journeys, you know, respectively. Best we can with broad brush strokes that may apply to the general population. Now, on the other hand, the coaching part of it, these are like your fine details. Like you use a very, very small detailed pen or brush. Like, and this is where you're able to really practice the art of it. Because it's very individual. Now, of course, like you said, we do this to earn a living. Now, don't try to be everything to everyone, right? I'm definitely not going to package myself. Hell, I've been running for all of on and off, like and like I'm a self-confessed like not a good runner.
Yeah.
Why on earth would I package myself as a running coach just because uso siya? There you have the pretenders.
That's why I think that's why I especially respect you. It's like where okay. I remember you before needing help with gymnastics.
Yeah.
So you asked for a gymnastics coach, right?
Yeah, back
It's
then.
What you said na when you think you know everything, imagine yourself coaching yourself gymnastics. You would have gotten hurt.
No, to be fair, back then, I had the tools. I had the tools. I already had my CrossFit gymnastics certificate. I could do muscle ups. I could do all of them. You know what I needed? Accountability. That's the honest truth about that. I needed accountability. You know why? Because I was lazy to do my gymnastic progressions. I was so lazy. I was like, I couldn't find the time to do like accessory gymnastic work, hollow holds and hollow rocks and arch holds and arch rocks after a workout. So I said the only way I'm gonna do this is if I find someone to kind of like hold me accountable to it.
That's great to hear.
That's the way. So yeah.
If you have a coach that's too proud to ask for help, medyo...
No, and I think every good coach has a coach too. Like in certain different disciplines, of course. Like for example, running. I use a coach as well. I use an online coach for my running, right? I'd much rather do that, and sometimes it makes me a little bit what's the word, like sympathetic towards some of these new runners that I'm seeing, like with mileages of 50 to 55k a week,
No lifting.
running 10k.
No accessory.
No, I mean they do, but they run 10k every day, and that's just what they do. They run 10k every day. Like they're gonna hurt themselves at some point. So I feel very sympathetic towards that. But you can't help everyone. You gotta keep your own house in order.
Okay. Ikaw, do you have anything to add to that?
No. Pretty much, just to capitalize on what Tito Jordy said, it's yun nga. At the start, siguro, I tried to be everything to everyone. Or you try to attend to all different kinds of concerns, I guess. Na let's say your own cup is empty na. Parang I don't know, pero something I realized with the little amount of experience I had, parang I don't know, parang it's not worth my, how do I put it? Losing my, parang if the cost of me attending to everyone is my own, let's say, my own fitness, ganyan. Like if I lose all of that, like mental health, whatever you want to call it, I lose weight, I get fat, whatever, parang
You lose,
all of
at
that,
least you even lose the motivation to show up for yourself.
Exactly. So parang, was that all worth it? So I really love what he said na you can't be everything to everyone.
Balance lang. Diba?
Yeah.
Balanced life.
Balanced life.
Balance lang.
And let me add to that, the thing na, how we've stayed with coaching, the number one tip, I think it's to, show up, but also be cognizant of your limits. Just to add to that. Kasi you can show up every day, but like what Zaki was saying, your cup is empty na pala. You have to be very cognizant of your limits. And I think you have to set boundaries, like really hard boundaries as far as your limits go. Because if you don't, I feel like in pursuit of either making more or getting more done, either of those two, either you want to make more money, either you want to get more done, something is gonna give. Definitely something's gonna, whether it's your mental health, whether it's your physical health, whether it's you might go through like some kind of emotional breakdown because you're not able to balance your family life, friends life, or your social life, what not. No.
Okay, so I mean, just to end on a high note, I'm gonna put some quick fire questions for you guys.
Game.
And as fast as you
Basic.
can. Ikaw, most overrated exercise in the gym.
Oh. Ala, squat agad naisip ko.
Oh my gosh.
Because I realize a lot of people don't do it. Like, a lot of people skip it talaga. Parang, a lot of clients come up to me, like, for example, it's a lower body day.
Okay.
Tapos nagtataka ako, lakas nito sa upper body, but parang sa lower body, parang hirap siya mag-squat na empty bar pa lang. Sabi niya, coach, kasi sa dati kong gym, mga 3 years. Pag nakikita ko leg day, niiwasan ko yun. So parang, like, any squatting, any squatting variation, as simple as it may sound, yun talaga.
My question was overrated.
Yun nga eh. Nag-process yung utak ko. Sorry. Overrated. Dang. Dito Jerdy muna.
Well, it's different eh. What's the most underrated for you?
Oh, we don't get to answer both? That's unfair.
Okay.
Sige, let's answer both. Akin, underrated ko is
overrated
squat.
ka muna. Let's not, dun muna tayo sa overrated
Okay.
bago tayo mag-move
Okay.
sa underrated.
My bad.
Can be CrossFit, can be
Well, whatever.
Overrated?
I have two.
Two?
Two
Bigay mo isa
overrated
dito.
exercises.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
Alam mo yung I don't know, what do you call it? Yung may hawak kang weight sa gilid, tapos magsa-side bend ka ng
Side
ganyan.
bend.
Side bend.
That's what it's
Oo.
called.
For your,
Sa akin,
side crunch?
overrated, strict barbell press overhead.
Really?
Yeah, that's very overrated for me. Strict barbell press
Bakit?
overhead. For some people, it's very hard to do to begin with. Like, I'd prefer dumbbells, honestly.
Just do that instead.
Yeah, because the mobility to rack the bar on your shoulder to begin with, that's hard. To rack the bar on your shoulder and then like press it from a standstill without using your legs to do anything. Yeah, a lot of people don't know. They don't even flex their quads when they're doing that. They have soft knees. So I feel like there are more effective ways to hit your shoulders and your overhead strength than a strict barbell press. Second is the GHD sit-up.
Gosh, we used to be
Yeah,
crazy
that's the
with GHD.
That's really overrated for me. Yeah.
Is it because of the injury or it just doesn't
No, I mean,
add much to you?
one, it's very hard for the normal person to do it properly. So you have to teach them how to do it properly. You need to dedicate a decent amount of time to get them to do it, and then you have to constantly remind them how to do it. Like honestly, put a GHD machine or a GHD, the actual GHD at an Anytime Fitness. Put a camera close by.
Mukhang bago yun.
Put a camera close by, you're gonna see people F it up so many times. Like, it's gonna be funny. But for me, it's overrated in that sense because it needs supervision. It needs expert instruction. And even that, like, if you go all the way full range and then if you go all the way full range right away and you do more reps than necessary, you're gonna realize pretty quick that life isn't so fun.
Okay, guys.
So that's those two.
I have another one for
Go.
the overrated. Flutter kicks. I don't know. The return you get for it's little to none, in my opinion. I'm sorry. Parang there are a lot more
And I think
value for time.
I think some people even like tend to use more hip flexors than even like they think it's an ab exercise,
Yeah,
but they
yeah.
end up using a lot of hip flexors.
So underrated. Maybe people can make space in their routine and do these instead. Like, what's an underrated exercise?
Strict dumbbell shoulder press.
Okay.
Very
I was gonna
underrated.
say Arnold press, more range of
Arnold
motion.
press.
I want to disagree with the
Okay,
Arnold
game.
press. I
Wow,
want to
you
disagree
used
with
to
Arnold
love. You used
press.
to love Arnold
No,
presses.
I love it personally, but in some cases it causes like I know some people who feel pain when they do it. Yeah, some people who are not so mobile. Yeah, so I feel like the safest shoulder press is two dumbbells, neutral grip. That's the safest. Neutral grip. Yeah. You can wrap the dumbbell on your shoulder. Like the minute you open it up, suddenly there's gonna be some stuff that happens there. So I think, why complicate it?
Okay.
Underrated.
Underrated.
I feel like well, not an underrated movement, but an underrated piece of equipment. Kettlebell.
Kettlebell.
Like,
What's your favorite exercise with it?
I love the Turkey. Well, I mean, a
Turkish.
more advanced, pero over time, I guess. Pero I think at one point, I progress someone into learning the Turkish get up for body awareness, core stability, shoulder stability, just to even more so for the for the body awareness, kinesthetic awareness. So parang being mindful of your body through space, I guess.
So nerdy.
I'll add. So I already started
love
with
it.
two. I already started with two. It was a simple exercise, which is the strict barbell shoulder press. And then now it's a strict dumbbell shoulder press. And then earlier I added like a CrossFit specific movement, which is the GHD. Let me add an underrated exercise. I think it's barbell cycling, clean and jerk or clean and press. Yeah, for reps. I think that's a very underrated exercise.
You don't have to go heavy, right? Just to
I think nothing gets your metabolism going than
Ground to overhead.
ground to overhead, basically. And if you can do it very efficiently, now again, this requires some experience and expert instruction, but I think it's very underrated. If you were to learn something from CrossFit, I think that's it. And if you're not a CrossFitter, learn how to properly clean a barbell. Power lang naman. Power clean to push press or power clean to push jerk, and then learn how to cycle that. Yeah, I think that's super underrated.
Probably a very bang for your buck full body movement.
Super.
Okay. Next is really excited for that minute. Go to hype song.
Huh?
Go to hype song.
Right now, nako po. Well, ano pa ba?
Play it on the background.
Pero right now, it's Beanie.
This is going into a reel.
Imagine, no?
Beanie out of my head. Yan.
Oh, that's the title of the song?
Out of my head.
Oh my gosh, I have no idea what their songs are called.
Or Carrera, yan. So, mga blooms dyan.
Oh my gosh.
Hello.
Hindi nyo alam, plot twist yun, no?
Ay, nako.
Yeah, I really love your Spotify playlist, but try to pick just one song.
Hype.
Yeah.
Hit him up, Tupac.
Wow.
Hit him up. Yeah.
What year did that come out of?
96, before he died. They say he might have been killed because of that song.
Rest in
Oh my
peace.
Yeah, it's very aggressive. That and wait, let me add, probably "Damn" by Youngbloods. Yeah, any of those two.
I haven't been listening to them.
"Damn" by Dirty South. Yeah.
Ikaw, okay, so next is... Medyo tatawa pa ako. So you have a home gym.
Yeah.
You've helped your clients build home gyms. It's gonna be hard, but like 5 top equipment that you would buy first.
Yeah, I have na.
Can be sets, no? But yun nga, type of equipments. You
Adjustable dumbbells. Any pull-up bar attachment or yeah. If you have the space, barbell. Remove the barbell, kettlebell. Then rings. That's rings. Yeah.
Rings?
Rings. Pair of gymnastic rings.
Last, number 5, bench.
Bench press. Okay.
Ako, like a squat rack rig. Squat, if you have the space. Squat rack rig with a pull-up attachment. So that's all in one. Of course, your barbell and plates. That's 2. It kind of works with that. Your bench, adjustable bench, 3. And then, adjustable dumbbells, 4. And then maybe, if you can afford it, pick between a rower and a calorie or fan bike.
Missed that one. Yeah.
If you one of those.
I was waiting on that kasi
Agree.
parang something to get you going.
They're kind of expensive and they take a lot of space, but if you can afford, go.
What's one fitness coaching session? What's like a pet peeve for you that you see in other coaches? Like, stop doing that today.
Take a pet peeve sa coaches.
Yeah, of course.
Also,
coaches,
not
coaches.
on the
We're
client.
helping the coaches here. We're always
Oh,
helping.
I think that he'd better answer that.
Like,
I
if
don't
you
think
see your
I-
coach do this, medyo think twice na for the next
I
session.
think he'd have a better answer.
If he starts telling you his personal problems, run.
Kung magkano utang niya, ganun. Kaya ganito, ganyan.
Yeah, or like sabihin niya biglang maya-maya, ay, tatay ko may sakit, yung mga ganun. Pagka nagsimula, ano yan? It's gonna open the floodgates of hell open.
Don't engage.
Don't engage. Yeah, go. Like, look the other way and run. Run as fast as you can in the opposite direction.
Ikaw, something, lower tier naman, lower tier.
I mean, it's one thing to do that like when your client is new, and it's another thing if like say you and your client are like good friends, you've had a relationship over the years, and the client is actually curious about your life and they ask. But if
they ask.
you open it up, don't open it up. If you're a coach, stop.
That's not the product eh. That's not the product.
Yeah. If you're a coach, stop.
For me, I saw this even before I was coaching. I saw this, I realized it was a pet peeve of mine nung athlete ako. When coaches have sort of favoritisms, parang they give more attention to client A because apart from the coaching fee that they give, binibigyan din siya ng pagkain, ganyan. Binibigyan din siya ng ganyan. Diba? Kape, ganyan. Ito naman si client B, ano lang na, goes in, gets a session in, walang binibigay na anything. So,
Teka, ito yung kasalanan yun.
no, parang pick na ako magbigay ng pangalan.
Mamaya.
Bulong mo, bulong sa akin.
Sige. Yun nga, parang, okay, I saw this in a gym. I saw this in a gym. I was working out. May dumating na client, binigyan si coach ng kape. So, kita ko na hands-on, very attentive. Tapos, shortly after, may
Baka
dumating
Starbucks pa yun.
it was Starbucks.
Oo, diba?
Cold brew yun, cold brew.
See?
Diba? Tapos, shortly after, nag-overlap, dumating si client B habang nag-workout tong si client A. Napansin ko, yung attention mas kay client B. A, sorry. Itong si client B, tanong ng tanong. Ang daming tanong. Tapos sobrang, alam mo yun, parang very brush it off answers na lang yung binibigay ni coach. So nakita ko, parang, is it because...
It's very unprofessional.
Yeah, diba?
Yeah, it's very unprofessional.
In my opinion, just like with any industry, parang you treat everyone fairly.
Yeah.
Which is,
I mean,
to
a certain degree, like being treated special by a client always feels good.
Yes.
It always feels good, but yeah, you should treat everyone fairly. And like, say for example, if the client goes above and beyond for your coach, you should go above and beyond for the client also. But there should be a standard of service that you maintain for all.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Because it comes off as if I'm client B, it comes off as na, so
of
kailangan
course,
kita bigyan ng kape so that you treat me the
of
same
course.
way.
Of course.
Diba? So parang it's not,
Hatak na yung coach nun. Ilang kape yun? Isipin mo, 5 yung kliyente niya, 5 cold brew yun sa isang araw. Ganun na siya. Diba? Hatak na hatak yung
Di ba?
coach mo nun. Yung coach siguro sabihin niya, mamaya, tubig na lang ha.
So,
Pakalma.
ayun. Di ba?
Okay, great. One last thing, like so we talked about earlier, like my clients meeting you halfway. What would make the job of the coach easier just if this client has this certain quality?
What do you mean?
Like, what's the quality that you like seeing out of clients?
Yeah, I have one. Teachability. Very open to to teach.
What does that look like?
Let's say okay, so a few weeks back, I accompanied someone to a fashion show. So I mean, may parang may protocol ka ng binigay. And syempre, they're not the only one there. Syempre, with a lot of other people that will go on stage as well. And they're seeing different things. Parang this person.
Who's saying different things?
I'm sorry. They're seeing different.
Seeing different things.
Parang the client is
from
seeing,
like other people
like
who are in
someone,
the show.
Yes, this person's meal timing is
Yeah,
different
yeah,
than
yeah.
theirs.
Yeah.
The
I
time
get it.
that they, for example, get the pump in is different. Hydration is different. Ganyan. I really appreciated that that person didn't question anything
Yeah,
from
yeah,
our
yeah.
end. Parang hindi siya lumapit na parang, coach, siya kumakain na, ako hindi pa.
Yeah,
Bakit
yeah,
gano'n? Coach, siya, ito yung equipment or ito yung movements na ginagawa niya. Bakit ako hindi yun
Yeah,
yung ginagawa
yeah.
ko? So I really appreciated na hindi siya nag-overstep in terms of or he didn't question.
That's
He
trust.
didn't question. Yeah, that's
That's trust.
trust. So I really appreciate a client that's very teachable, open to being
And if they trust you like that, yeah.
very trusting din.
Yeah.
Allowing you to mold them,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah. Teachability and being trustful.
Ikaw, like something else for you?
Yeah,
another
but
time?
related to that naman din. Syempre, I appreciate that quality as well in clients. I have had a lot of clients in the past and presently who are like that with me. But another thing that I appreciate with clients is their inquisitive nature. I like it when I get something back. Like, for example, if I say to this client, like say, hey, you should try doing this and that. Or of course, we're trying to modify some lifestyle behaviors. Usually usually that's my niche. My niche is usually lifestyle behaviors, lifestyle modifications. That's more my niche if you ask me for anti-aging, whatever. I like when I get a little bit of a, return or like pushback, like, coach, why is it like that? I love that. Instead of like them like completely 100% just blindly trusting and like, I mean, sometimes I feel, I'm not a cult leader, I'm not a cult leader, you don't have to just, sige po. No, I like, why? I like it because I study this stuff. I would love for the chance to explain why. But sometimes, of course, not all clients are like that kasi some of them din naman, they have a lot going on in their life. So sometimes they just trust you to do whatever. So, I mean, both are appreciated, but it's the rare chance for me na when they're inquisitive.
Well, for me,
I have one last thing to say. Since I'm new to the industry, so siguro what I'm about to say is for everyone who is also in my position na trying to build credibility, gain experience, still making their way through the fitness industry as a coach. One thing siguro that I can say is find a mentor, find someone na you can really, be a sponge. Kasi I feel like it will really jumpstart your progress as a coach. In my case, it's my brother, Tito Jerdy. Ang dami kong tinatanong sa kanila. I asked them so many questions. And very grateful. I'm very grateful na they really, there's so much substance in what they have to say. Lalo na to si Tito Jerdy. He's been in the industry for as much as how long as I've been alive. So, alam mo yun, parang when you have someone to look up to, someone who knows the ropes, someone who really has established their name in whatever industry you're in our case, the fitness industry, as in dikit lang kayo sa kanila, ask as many questions as you can, and really just keep
Without
learning
annoying them.
talaga. Oh,
I couldn't agree more. You know, ako personally, I feel very lucky that I got to grow up around people like Tito Jerdy. You know, I mean, very casually dropping knowledge bombs about fitness and wellness that I get to apply to my own life. Kaya like, magagalit pa to, hindi ka naman natulog. But I mean, I feel very lucky, and I am very grateful that I got to ask these questions and I really dive a bit deeper. And yeah, and I'm also glad that, you know, we still have this thing na like just geek out about fitness and move. First it was CrossFit, or back then it was bodybuilding, then CrossFit, and now what do we have next for you guys?
High rocks.
High rocks.
Hybrid training.
rocks.
That's the thing now. That's why we're running. That's why we're still lifting. It's
And
what
the next
everyone
race
wants to do now.
Is when?
High Rocks
again?
Bangkok for us. For Zaki and me, we're both doing
Yeah.
High Rocks Bangkok. Hopefully, eventually as teammates or something.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Definitely.
maybe eventually. Not this time, but
So I think that's one thing we've all been very much enjoying, not just the running, but also High Rocks, right? I really feel like it's something we can keep doing further.
for sure. It's more sustainable than CrossFit, if you ask me.
Yeah.
I mean,
feel like
competitive CrossFit. You can do CrossFit for as long as you want, up to your 60s and 70s. But to stay competitive in CrossFit and like say be joining competitions, especially in the Philippines, it's gonna be hard because nobody's competing here in their 50s. It's not like the CrossFit Games where you have people in their 60s. But here it's very hard. So there's not gonna be that many people who are competing at that age.
Yeah. We'll talk about that maybe after
Maybe
the race.
maybe in some
like
other
a debrief.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
for
for
sure.
now, thanks so much, guys.
I want to
had
thank you
fun.
guys for for everything you said, for the nice words, that heartfelt words that you said, compliments.
Say it back.
Yeah.
Kidding.
Of course.
You guys need to earn your stripes. But no, you know, with what you guys were saying, I kind of it feels a little bit bittersweet. When I was starting out, I had no one to like really emulate that was that close. You know, like there were coaches that I emulated or looked up to a lot, but they weren't local coaches. So I got to meet, back then my idol was Jim Stopani. I got
Oh,
to
wow.
meet him.
The Jim Stopani.
I got to cultivate a relationship with him. Every time I would go to LA, we'd meet up and have a meal, things like that. And I learned a lot from those relationships. But it was very hard during my time because it just wasn't. I mean, coaches during my time, I'd always look at someone and say, "Do you want to be like him?" Nah. So that was the problem. That was really a problem. It was a tough trail to blaze. I have to admit.
Yeah. We want to hear from you if you're a coach, especially if you're a coach. Let us know what you thought of this episode. This is Tita Jerdy, Zaki, Austin, Balanced Life.
See you next time.